Okay, so we're recording, guys.
Hi, team. Name's Michael Brady, CFA student out of Denver, Colorado. Happy to be a part of the meeting today.
I'm Michael.
I am Michelle Fleshner, also a CFA student from Tampa, Florida, and very happy to be here.
Excellent. Bradley Jones, CFA student, Nashville, Tennessee area. So acting as the coordinator for this meeting. So I guess we'll get started with our first part of the project here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share the resource on my screen. Can everyone see that okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this is just the structure of the meeting. We've taken care of part one. So the next part was the vision statements. We were each to write a 2 to 3 sentence vision statement and then go over those with each other. So if that's okay, we'll follow the order there as it's written and go from there.
Okay, it looks like I'm up first. For my vision statement, I used the name ABC Healthcare Center because they didn't give us a name. The ABC Healthcare Center is dedicated to providing state-of-the-art healthcare to the community without regard to race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, or socioeconomic status. At ABC Healthcare Center, each and every person will be treated like family.
Excellent. So Michael, do you have any comments on that?
I like it. Mine's probably pretty similar, so
Sure.
I can kick off, but otherwise, if you have any comments for Michelle, I liked it though. Very smooth.
Right, I liked it too. I like that it grasped the different concepts of cultural competency, whether that be socioeconomic status or that be ethnicity or race. So I felt like it was very all-inclusive.
Thank you.
Okay, Michael, you can go ahead.
All right. I have unified in our member-centric approach. We support and empower our associates to provide best-in-class customer service and care to our members. We are sensitive to our diverse culture and promote inclusion at every level throughout our organization. We treat our members and employees with respect regardless of their gender, race, ethnic origin, age, sexual orientation, disability, or religious affiliation.
Excellent. Michelle, any comments on that?
I thought that was absolutely wonderful. I think that it included everything and was very well written.
Thank you.
I would agree. I think it captured a lot of the principles that cultural competency should reflect. And it was very structured and very, very formal. So I think that was an excellent job.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see, I'll pull mine up here. My vision statement, I guess, was a little bit more basic. So mine just said, the vision of Jung Healthcare Center is to ensure the delivery of effective and quality healthcare services and outcomes that meet the diverse social, cultural, and linguistic needs of all populations of the community.
Very good.
Yeah. Right to the point.
Yeah, so I think, from hearing the whole group's perspective on the thing, there are a lot of similarities that we have. I think, the principles of diversity were exhibited in the I think social and cultural aspects of that was on there as well. So what do you all think?
I would agree with everything that you said. I think Michael's was probably the most all-inclusive.
Sure. And I would agree with that. I really enjoyed. And Michael, could you read that again?
Sure. See if I can do it as good as the first time. Pressure. Unified in our member-centric approach, we support and empower our associates to provide best-in-class customer service and care to our members. We are sensitive to our diverse culture and promote inclusion at every level through our organization. we treat our members and employees with respect regardless of their gender, race, ethnic origin, age, sexual orientation, disability, or religious affiliation.
That's excellent. The only thing that I might include would be maybe socioeconomic, because that was a big key in what I reviewed. But I like the format of yours, so I vote for yours.
I agree.
Well, I like all of ours. So Bradley, if you want to mold, all of our contributions into one final statement, I mean, I'm good with that. I think everybody, there was some things that were similar, but if we want to kind of blend it all in together, I vote for that as well.
Sure. So Michelle, anything else to add to that?
No, I think that adding the socioeconomic would be perfect. Other than that, I think that Michael's was written beautifully.
I agree. So what I'm going to do here, just for a note for myself, is I'm going to make a highlight here, just so we know that, and then possibly add socioeconomic to the vision. So that way I know to make that correction. Michael, if you can send that to us in an email, I'll get that added at the end for the project deliverable.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if we don't have any more insight on the vision statement section, we can move on to section 3 here, which is our team discussion and the project creation process. So we've kind of done that first step there where we looked at, the vision statement. So the next process we really need to look at was to, as a team, collectively choose 7 to 10 principles of cultural competency that everyone agrees that the staff should know about, excuse me. So I'll just kind of leave that open floor discussion, and whoever wants to provide examples first.
Well, the first one I thought was clearly that every patient deserves our utmost respect and attention. As we were reading through the different requirements on this, it seemed that one of the common denominators were that the patients were feeling that they were either being disrespected or minimalized.
Sure. Michael, anything to add?
No, I like that.
Okay.
Agreed. So one of the principles that I kind of put first is very basic, but I think very important, is don't make assumptions by appearance.
Sure. So in that, that on that basic level, so I'm assuming that would be applying to ethnicity, whether that is, based on color or based on ethnicity, or even socioeconomic status by the way someone dresses.
Exactly.
Okay. I had something very similar to that. And I'll pull mine up here. One of my keys was it's important to understand that diversity exists among members of the same population. I think sometimes we might look at ethnic groups and say, oh, this is a common characteristic among all ethnic members of that group, when that's not the case at all. And, I think as citizens of the United States and Americans, we're such a diverse population. And I think that's really now more evident than at other times, especially with the recent presidential elections and the ongoing, battle between the bipartisanship. I think that's important to realize for us is, diversity exists among everyone, whether you're American, whether you're European, or you're Asian.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think we need to probably talk in simple language, clear communication, just so it doesn't get convoluted to those that we are making sure that we are communicating this to. So I guess less big words is my recommendation, but I like it.
Sure. Okay, anybody have some more that they want to share? I made a list of about 9, but I'm sure everyone else has multiples too.
I can just share what I had. I put 6, and I think again for our limitations of the video, we can probably exchange emails to kind of decide which ones we may use. But I can just kind of shoot down my list if that's all right.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Okay. And again, they might be incomplete. They're just brief statements, but learn more about the patient's cultures that you cater to. My next one was identifying specific groups for intervention. Next one was tailoring and adapting care to cultural differences. Able to actively solicit and respond to differences. And last one was facilitate behavior change of patients or providers.
Excellent. I think our video got a little convoluted there for a second.
I only had 2 that were different from that. One was to communicate with the patient in a language that they feel comfortable with. Some people may have very limited English. Some may have a little bit of an accident but have amazing English skills. And if you ask them, they'll tell you which language they feel the most comfortable. And also to have collateral materials and intake forms in the languages that they feel comfortable with.
Excellent.
So the Affordable Care Act requires us to provide those in the top 20 languages in your state. That's something that started in, I believe, January.
Okay.
And some of the resources that we have available to us now, you can get things in almost any language fairly quickly.
Excellent. I'll just read mine really quick. Mine was there's value in diversity. So I think that's an important aspect. Diversity exists among members of even the same population. It's important to realize that we're all different, but at the same time, we're very similar. Equity and fairness are important. Inclusion is a must for all. Discrimination and/or harassment is intolerable. Effective communication can be affected by diverse social, cultural, and linguistic populations. Education increases your personal effectiveness in regards to diversity. And creativity can be nurtured through inclusion of new perspectives and ideas from different cultures. So I guess mine were more so general ideas that I wanted my team to understand that could be, applied across the spectrum, not just to healthcare.
Obviously, I have a very healthcare focused.
Sure. I came from the same background. I was a practice administrator for about 7 years before I joined the insurance side.
Ah.
So would you all agree that, we have a lot of overlap, so maybe the best thing we could do at this point is to just share all of ours in a collective document and then vote on the top 7 or 8 that we have and then include those in the project deliverable?
Sure.
Michael, I think you're muted.
Right. So I didn't want any background noise while anybody else was talking. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. As you are a coordinator, why don't you kind of, try to tailor down a list that we vote on, and we'll just exchange that via email if that sounds good.
Sure. Yeah. If you can get those to me, what I'll do is I'll see where we all overlap, and those will be included. That way, we all have similar ideas there. So we can get that loaded in.
Sounds good.
Okay. So it looks like, and I'm going back here, I'm switching between 2 documents, sorry. So it looks like the next part really is to look at 3 actions the team recommends the center should take to improve cultural competency and the reasons we chose these. So I'll just leave that open. Michael, if you want to go through your first three first, or Michelle, if you want to go through your three first and why you think, you know, they really stand out, or that's a good option.
So I always would say ladies first, but I'll leave it up to you. I can go or you can.
I can go, thank you. My first one was to create a training program that is ongoing and including the staff in creating that training program so that they have a little bit more buy-in. And within that program to have some sort of reward mechanism in there to whereas the patients or the clients can anonymously compliment an employee for doing something very wonderful, or a coworker could compliment someone, and that those would be the points that could be some sort of. I also have translators available. They have wonderful sources now to where you can have a translator service just on tablet so that they're readily available. You don't have to worry so much about scheduling them beforehand, because sometimes the person that scheduled the appointment wasn't necessarily the person that is at the appointment. And sometimes, of course, for emergencies, when you have people come in or have a billing question or something, that you could have a translator readily available. And then also to have collateral materials and intake documents that are available in the different languages. And then my last one was to keep the discussions with the patients open, to keep open-ended questions, to keep asking them, do they feel comfortable with this treatment plan? Do they feel comfortable with the visit itself? Do they have any other questions? Is there anything else that was bothering them today, or anything else that they wanted to address with the physician while they were there?
I like that. Very important things.
Next up.
Heather, you want me to go, or did you have any comments about that? You might be on mute.
Sorry, muted too. So I think that the first suggestion was something that I had actually included in my list as well. So I think that's dead on, but I think it's a unique perspective, seeing it from the healthcare and the patient interaction side of that. So bravo, I really enjoyed that.
Thank you. Great minds think alike.
Well, it seems like we're a symbiotic team here, so I'll kick mine off. Just you guys don't mind?
Yep.
So when we're first, I thought it was very important to recruit and retain our front desk staff who reflect the cultural and linguistic diversity of our communities that are served. So, you know, really to make sure that they're well trained and that they are respective of, you know, cultural differences and linguistic differences. So again, we're not causing any abrasion, you know, with our patients. I think, you know, to have a very welcoming atmosphere is very important. Next would be cultural and linguistic competence training of staff. So really kind of go through a formal training, and really with emphasis on the front house of the organization. So the reception areas are all those touch points where our members first start, you know, whether if they're, you know, registering to enter into the hospital or whatnot. And then for my last one would be performance evaluation standards that would include behaviors, attitudes, knowledge, and skill sets, you know, related to cultural and linguistic competence of really our family-centered care. So, you know, a way to kind of make them accountable in that sense, and you know, not only train them, but also follow up to kind of measure them from a quality, you know, I guess, assurance point, or really, you know, any way that we want to see fit doing that.
Excellent. You know, and I think I took a lot of my thinking back toward your ideas, Michael, where they were more so in relation to what can the company do to ensure cultural competence, as opposed to Michelle was a little more geared toward the patient delivery perspective of that. So I agree. I think those are very valid points. So I completely agree with those as well.
As do I.
Excellent. Okay, I'll go over mine really quickly then. So my first one was to form a committee made up of administration, frontline staff, and the community to serve as a resource for planning, implementing, and evaluating cultural competency. This will include all levels of the organization in a forum that keeps cultural competency as a priority of the clinic with follow-up and quality assurance. The second thing that I had was to survey the community to find out what various cultural, ethnic, and socioeconomic groups visit the healthcare center we operate and assess whether or not those groups are satisfied with the healthcare center or not. This will allow us to become more informed about the diversity of the patients we serve and allow us to make improvements in our cultural competence. My third suggestion was to mandate cultural competency training for all staff members on a yearly basis because the education increases the effectiveness in which staff are able to communicate with diverse populations.
Excellent.
That's really important. Obviously, I think we've talked about, some of the focuses or focal points, but, and really creating the committee is the one that really roll it out and enforce it. I think that's something that's needed, or at least language in there that's needed.
And I love including the community.
Yeah, absolutely. So in regards to this, our three suggestions, how do we want to handle this one? Do we just want to merge together and see what the overlap is and then do that? Or do we just want to take a vote while we have time? Or
I think it would be good to see everything on paper in front of us. And I believe there is some overlap and we can kind of mend some statements in together. But if we exchange via email, and if you want to try to remove any of the redundancy or then maybe we can kind of vote on a final product.
Okay, so I'll do that. Let's just make the take back to send me the documents that you have or your rough drafts that you've created. I'll kind of merge all those together in a master document, remove any excess that are duplicates. And then if in that document you want to highlight a particular color that what you feel should be included between the overlap that we have, and then I'll just take everyone's together, re-look over that, merge that together, and then send out a final proof for us to send us a deliverable.
Excellent.
Is that okay, Michael?
Yeah, that sounds fine. I actually, I might have jumped the gun. I just send all of my notes to everybody. So did you?
No big deal. No, that's fine. No, you're fine. So I'll just take that and I'll merge the document.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess we need to set a timeline for when we want to have this over to me. And then I'll set a timeline for myself when to have this back to you guys. For you guys to decide, what we should include and then get it back to me one last time for final edits. As far as me, I can probably get mine submitted tonight. If you all can just let me know when you can get it over to me, I'll work tonight on getting that merged together.
Yeah, I can do it now.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's meet at go at the speed of light. So as soon as possible, I guess.
Okay. So if Michelle can get me that, since you already sent it, Michael, I'll get those merged together tonight. I'll send those back out tonight. Just make any highlights that you feel should be included. Send those back to me one last time. I'll make final edits. And as soon as I have from both of you, then we'll get that submitted and over for final approval from you guys. And then I'll submit it out to the deliverable.
Sounds great.
Okay. And Michael, one last thing. I noticed on the CFA you hadn't accepted the group invitation yet. So I just want to make sure you get that.
I did before the meeting, so it should.
Okay, I'll look at it later. Sorry. All right, perfect. So I'll be in contact with everybody through email. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, just let me know. I'll try to be expeditious in getting things back to you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks, Brady.
nice to meet everybody. Good to see you again, Michael.
Good to see you too. Have a great day, guys.
Bye.
You too.